In this video we'll show how to take this custom design that we have been given and draw it up here in CorelDRAW and MemorialDESIGNER. Um, if I just click on my image, this was just brought in from an email, so it's only 10 inches by 6 inches at 96 dpi. It was just page size. So in order to work on it, what I'll do is I'll resize it. I know that the stone is going to end up being 2 foot 6 inches wide, so I will just take a reference line, click here, draw over to here and click, and then I'll shift and select the piece behind it and then run auto size, and I'll say that's going to be 30 inches. I don't need to straighten it or anything, so I just hit apply, and then I hit F4 to zoom to all now that it's bigger. Okay, so the next thing that I'll do is I'll draw the actual shape. I don't know how big the base is, but I do know that the die anyway is going to be 30 inches wide and 20 inches tall. So we'll just go with that and click OK. So I'll take my die. Right now, when Shape Builder builds it on 0, 0, but you don't necessarily have to have it on 0, 0, so I'm just going to drag it down over the top of this one. And my blue outline there, I'm just going to line that outline up with this stone. You can see from the original that it's actually a little bit taller, so it's probably like a 22 or something. We'll just go ahead and put this right there. Alright, and then the base didn't have a margin, so I can just delete that margin, and base looks like it should be shrunk a little bit. So holding down shift, I'm pulling in from a side so that it actually goes the same distance on either side. So that shows it's about 40, so I'll just type in 40 here. We'll go with that. It might not actually be that size, but we'll go with it. And then I can bring that up and snap it to the bottom of the die there. Okay, so then what we're going to do is bring our picture to the front, and I might go ahead and give it a transparency here. You don't have to, but if I give it a transparency, then I can actually see the stone behind it that I'm working on. Not that it really matters a whole lot, but that's okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do is build my cross. So I'll just take the rectangle tool here and click one corner, drag down to the next corner. There's that part. It's not any specific size, but I could, if I wanted it to be some sort of exact size, type in an exact size there, 13.5 by 3.5. And then if I hit the plus sign on my numeric keypad, it'll make an exact duplicate right over the top of it. Clicking on it gives me the rotation handles, and then clicking and dragging on one of those handles will rotate it to the side. I'm going to hold down Control while I do that so that it snaps to 15-degree increments, and just stop right there where I want it. I'll zoom in a little bit using my mouse wheel, and I'll move it up to about where the other one is. And then the same thing that I did before, I'll just grab one side, hold down Shift, and pull it in. That way it's pulling in evenly on both sides. That's almost 9 inches, so I'll just type in 9 inches just to give it some round numbers. Then I'll Shift select the other piece that we had there and do a weld, or hit W on the keyboard, and that will then weld it and make our cross for us. The cross will end up being polished, so I can fill it in with 30%. Then to get this part here, what I can do is I can contour this. So I'll just grab my contour tool after I select my stone, and if I just click on the edge of the cross and drag out, it will interactively create a contour for me, which is pretty close to 1/4 of an inch, so I'll just type in 1/4 of an inch and hit enter. Okay, and it looks like down here is a little bit further than 1/4, so that's okay. What we'll do is we'll go up to Object, break our contour group apart so that the contour group is actually now separated from the cross. before it was connected to it because it was a group. And then what we'll do is we'll draw this line here. So I'm just going to take my freehand tool, that's fine, and I'm going to start down here in the middle, a little bit further than the middle. So I'll click there, come over to the side, holding Control, I'm going to click here. With the freehand tool, you either have to double click to continue your line, or after you make your single click, you click back again on that node to keep going. As I move up, it's going to scroll for me, which is fine. I'm just going to keep on going all the way up here till about here. Make another click, and then I'll click from there up to, I can go beyond the edge of the stone, which will be fine. I'll just click right there, because what we'll end up doing is trimming it. Using the shape tool, I take this, convert it to a curve, or hit 2 on the keyboard, and then I'm just going to click on the line itself and drag it in here a little bit. And I've got snapping on right now, but I'm going to turn it off by hitting Alt-Z on the keyboard, or you can come up to Snap to and take off Snap to Objects. There we go. Clicking on the node, you get the handles, and that's the most precise way of editing the curve of this line. I was holding down Control while I dragged this down so that it stayed in line with the piece or the line that it was on before. Control is going to constrain while you drag. Alright, so now that I've got that, it's going to be the exact same on the other side. So what I can do is I can mirror it to the other side of our cross. If I just hit mirror, it's not going to work because mirror finds the largest filled object behind it, which I guess if I clicked it, we'll see what happens. Yeah, see, it went all the way to the other side because it found the actual it found the image, so it was mirroring on the image, which is not what I want. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Control on my keyboard while I hit the mirror button, and now it's waiting for a reference. So I can click now here, and it's going to mirror on just that the cross. So now I've got that on either side. I can take both of those pieces holding Shift, combine them together. Now I've got 2 nodes down here because when I started a little bit further to the right of center, so that I would have a little bit of overlap. With the shape tool, I can grab both of those nodes and join them with J, and then I could even delete it and not have that node in there anymore. Up here, I can do the same thing, grab both of those nodes. Instead of joining though, what I'm going to do is extend. So I'll extend that curve to close. That's going to draw a straight line across there. I don't actually want that to dip down below the top of the SERP though, so if I double click in the middle, I can drag that up. I just want it to be up above the top of the SERP, and I'll show you why here in just a second. Okay, so now we've got everything drawn that we need to. So I'll take this piece and I'll just hide it. Just get rid of it there. Now this piece, we're going to use this as a reference for building a new shape, because I want a new shape to, well, I guess there's 2 things we can do. I could either use this one to trim this one, but trimming sometimes gets a little bit complicated. So if I were to just trim that, see how it trims upside down? So that's not what I want to do. I find it easier to actually take, so I'll take these pieces here and hide those. Now I've only got this, and then I can take my Smart Fill over here and just click, and what it does is it fills in everywhere until it hits another line basically. So I've Smart Filled that, then I can take my original and just delete it. The reason I used Smart Fill was so that I would be able to match the contour of the top of the stone there. And then I can take this, instead of green, turn it to 10%, and I'll right click on this to get rid of the outline. Okay. Hit F4 to zoom out. And then I'll go back to my object manager since I've got hidden pieces here. This one, I don't really need that anymore, so I can just go ahead and delete that. And then these two hidden things I want to show again. Okay. They are behind this piece, so if I select them, I can hit Shift Page Up. Oops, this one I didn't do. Shift Page Up to bring to the top of the layer. Okay. So now what I need to do is this piece here isn't actually black, it's just going to be part of the frosted, blown deep part. So the easiest thing to do is to take that, shift select this piece, and just weld it together. That way it becomes part of that. And then I will right click on that to get rid of the outline. And now we've got our piece there, and our piece there, and our piece there. So we've got 3 different objects here. What I could actually do is take this piece, shift select to this one, and combine it. What that does is it makes that see-through. Wherever it's combined, it's now see-through, so it's showing through to the polish. A good reason for doing that is actually when I do my granite fills, it will actually fill faster. The less objects, the faster. There's only 3 objects anyway, so it's not going to take a lot of time. But if I just click on here, all it's filling is this piece here and not having to fill in both. So it actually works a tiny bit faster, especially when you have a lot of different pieces. But that's okay. Either way is fine. A benefit of not combining them is that if we wanted to get rid of that cross, we always could. But right now, if we just break it apart, Control K, that'll break it apart, and then we can go to wireframe here if we need to get to it. Turn it back to 30%. Shift page up to move it to the front, and then fill it in with our red again. So either way works. I'm just going to move these pieces apart so you can see how that works. Okay, so now we've got our stone design done with our frosted piece there, and we're good to go.